Secretary General, dear fellow delegates, the pact that we've undersigned is the result of complex negotiations for which I want to thank the President of the General Assembly, the negotiators, and of course all of the member states. The phase that now begins, that of implementation, is clearly even more complex, but definitely more crucial. The challenges that history has placed before us are manifold and multiform. Climate change, economic inequalities, humanitarian and health crises, transnational crime, and armed conflicts, starting with the unacceptable war of aggression of Russia on the country of Ukraine that make international security increasingly precarious. Faced with such a difficult scenario, we have no choice but to act. Because I think it is clear to all that we live in a time of crisis. Yet, crises always conceal opportunities. The word crisis, after all, derives from the ancient Greek term krisis, meaning choice, decision. Crises, therefore, force us to question ourselves. They force us to take a stand and do not allow for hesitation. We know that no state can effectively master current challenges on its own. And that is why Italy is a staunch supporter of multilateralism and of its most representative institution, the United Nations, the forum where each and every voice is heard, where we are called to learn, to understand each other, and to respect each other. Of course, any organization is effective if its rules are fair and mutually agreed. That is why we are persuaded that any reform of the UN governance, notably of its Security Council, cannot disregard the principles of equality, democracy, and representativeness. The reform makes sense if performed for everyone and not just for some. We're not interested in creating new hierarchies, and we don't believe that there are Class A nations and Class B nations. There are simply nations with their own histories, specificities, and citizens who have the same rights, because in our view, all humans are born free and equal. It also means rethinking in new ways about cooperation between nations. Italy has done so with the Mattei Plan for Africa, an investment plan designed to cooperate with African nations through an approach that is neither paternalistic nor charitable or predatory, but based on respect and the right for each one of us to compete on equal terms. It is our recipe to promote the development of a continent too often undervalued, build its stability, and finally guarantee one right denied to too many young people, that is, the right not to have to immigrate. And when talking about development, we cannot fail to address the new frontiers of technological innovation, starting with generative artificial intelligence, a phenomenon on which I'm afraid there's still insufficient awareness. AI is first and foremost a great multiplier, but the question we must pose ourselves is, what do we want to multiply? To put it bluntly, if this multiplier were used to cure still incurable diseases, then it would contribute to the common good. But if, on the other hand, that multiplier were used to further upset global balances, then the resulting scenarios would be potentially catastrophic. Machines will not answer these questions. Only we can do it. Politics must do it. And that is why it is crucial that AI be harnessed by human beings and be human-centric. All such issues are addressed by this pact and stand at the core of Italy's G7 presidency agenda. This is the role of multilateralism, not a club where people gather to write useless documents crammed with good intentions, but rather the forum where we must tackle decision-making urgency, where ideas must become actions, combining different sensibilities. Thank you.